Messages Astrology. I am your astrologer, Georgia Dempsey, and I'm so glad you stopped by for your April astrological forecast. I think this month for you is all about planning your revolt. I say that because we've got a lot of pretty interesting things in the mix, and it starts out with the sun, which is in your sign this month, in Aries, lighting up your first house of self. This could be making you feel bolder and expressing yourself and going after the things that you desire. Like a soul on fire, you want to boldly let the world know who you are. When the new moon in Aries hits on the morning of the 7th, you should be feeling pretty electrified. Not only is this new moon in your first house, but it's also conjunct Uranus. So you are awakening to your individuality and will be planting seeds for ways that you can experience more freedom in your life. You have drive and passion for being true to your unique self under this configuration. You want to experience life on your terms, as if you didn't already, Aries Rising. That means you'll be rewriting your life script. Old habits are likely to go out the door along with rigid routines. It's a great time for you to feel alive and invigorated as you expand your boundaries. You're going to start pursuing your life's dreams with gusto. This is a wonderful time to test your boundaries and determine what your true limits are. Now, as you revolutionize your life, you take on your own power. The untried, the exciting, the new, all have got you fired up right now. And as long as you harness this energy well, you could become a rebel with a cause. Just don't go too overboard with fanaticism. There are authority figures at your place of work who may not appreciate the new outspoken you. Just saying. On the 6th, both your Sun and Uranus will be squaring off to mighty Pluto, located in your career house in Capricorn. This will cause a stir for some of you in your career, hence the caution to not be overly fanatical on the job. Powerful forces are afoot, and some people may not appreciate your avant-garde ideas or schemes for freedom. Keep your head low while you work at busting out of the chains that bind you. Since this will reactivate the Uranus-Pluto square, old, outworn structures in your life want to come tumbling down. This is not necessarily a bad thing at all. Just make sure that you pull the trigger when you're ready to make the changes. On the 5th, Mercury enters Taurus. In your second house, he may be bringing in news regarding something you value. Since it's Taurus, it could involve money, resources, or something you've slowly been building towards. Taurus loves the finer things of life. So if you're going to eat chocolate, eat the best piece of chocolate. If you collect art, it will be a beautiful classic you desire. Information regarding prime pieces of land or property could be forthcoming as well. On the 17th, Mars, the god of passion, will go retrograde in your 9th house at close to 9 degrees of Aries. The Sabian symbol message for this backwards marching Mars is that of a crystal gazer who takes direction from within. Have assurance and take advantage of all of the factors in a given situation so that you will know when to make decisions and your move forward. So, if you've been contemplating and want to take action, this is a time to look inward. Slow down and get to know the facts first. That way, when Mars moves forward, you will be able to make those wise decisions. With the 9th house involved, you could be contemplating your life path direction right now. Saturn is near at hand there, so you have been seeing the truth of your current path, and that path is being tested. Is this really what you want out of life? Taking action on legal matters could also get stalled, and if that's the case, use the time wisely to gather information. Educational plans could also get slogged down. With Saturn and Mars near each other, your assertiveness and desires are going through tests of fire. Though you may feel determined, everything is taking longer than you'd like, and you are meeting resistance along the way. For many Aries Rising folks, you'd like to meet this resistance with a set of budding horns, for frustration is not something you harbor well. Rein in your bottled up emotions and continue to plot a steady course forward, recognizing that this period of resistance will eventually pass. All successful revolutions take planning, my friends. This is not a good time to lock horns with lawyers, the court system, teachers, journalists, or clergy. Though you may be upset, that's Mars, with some of the rules and or authority figures, Saturn, in your life, right now both of you have got their feet dug in and Saturn is retrograde. So I can picture two big horned sheep with their horns locked as you guys both push ferociously for what you want, but no one is gaining an inch of ground. Better to conserve your energy and strategize how to move forward with your plans once Mars comes out of retrograde. On April 18th, Pluto will also turn retrograde at 18 degrees of Capricorn in your 10th house. This is a call to get in touch with your inner resources in your career. What challenges are you being posed with at work that you need to deal with? How can you harness the Uranian energy you have in your first house to self-actualize who you are onto the world stage? Can you take this time to size up your competition to see what you can do to edge yourself ahead when these stalled planets start up once again? Is there a way you can help your organization move forward in a more humanitarian fashion? On the 19th of the month, your sun will enter into Taurus, shining a bright light onto your value system. With bull-like intensity and patience, you have the staying power to go after what you want. If that happens to be intimacy or someone else's money, you will know where you stand on the 22nd, for a full Scorpio moon will be lighting up your 8th house at this time. Since this house rules over sex, taboos, other people's money, 401ks, inheritances, power struggles, depth psychology, and things behind the veil, expect to see where you stand regarding one of these issues. Juno will be sitting close to the moon, and since this goddess is currently retrograde, everybody's moving backwards in the sky right now, you could be rethinking some of the contracts that you have in place with others. Juno is a female goddess that has much to do with sexuality, with marriage, and also binding contracts. At times, she can also represent a mistress. I believe the dual message of this goddess is wrapped up in her history. Juno was the wife of Jupiter, but it turned out, he was quite a philanderer, and he always had his hands on one mistress or another, right? Though furious with her mate, Juno stood by him, honoring her marriage contract. Her steadfastness probably came in part because she also happens to be Saturn's daughter, the setter and enforcer of rules in our lives. With both the moon and Juno in the 8th opposing the sun, some interesting scenarios pop into mind. If you're a man, both your mistress, Juno, and your wife, the moon, could be talking behind your back regarding your prowess or finances. You might also be making a decision between two lovers. Others of you will be thinking over the terms of contract you hold with an intimate partner. This can include important business partners as well, and that could have something to do with the Plutonian people located up there in your house of career. Whatever's going down for you, the full Scorpio moon is likely to reveal matters. It could bring some issues of betrayal to the forefront, intense emotions, sexual desires, and terms of contracts. Mercury in Taurus will go retrograde on the 28th, so you could be rethinking your value system based upon what you learned under the light of that big full moon. This Mercury will be focused on the hearth and home, for he will be saddled right next to Vesta, the goddess who keeps the home flames burning. On the following day, Venus will also enter into Taurus, with both your sun and the goddess of attraction in your second house. You will likely have the power to draw in whatever it is that you most desire. April for you, Aries Rising, is about rethinking the structures of your life that are no longer working for you. It's time to revolutionize and be who you are meant to be. Contracts that are no longer serving you are up for review, and the full Scorpio moon is asking you to transform your life once you've had time to plan your revolt. I want to give up a huge thank you to all of you in the world who have been responding to my reading special. I love the interaction with you. I'm already seeing great things happening by people going in directions that are really positive for them, so that just makes me feel wonderful. So if you feel like you need astrological advice or counseling, to help you go down a positive life path, please do give me a call. As part of building good karma and my business, I'm going to extend my special to June 1st, a 1-hour reading for $50. And that's a rockin' deal because I probably put about 10 hours into each reading. Contact information is at the front of the video. Now, if I happen to be a little bit slow responding towards the end of March or early April, it's because I'm moving. This is part of my Sag 2.0 restructuring process, right? And I'm going across the country to live in a more spiritual place. I'm simplifying, and I'm going to start working on the north end of my moon's node. And so it's an exciting time. But it requires a little bit of restructuring, and I'm going to be moving, so if I'm slow, just know I'll get to you as soon as I can. In the meantime, if you do find you're waiting while I respond to emails, check out my Aries video. She's really a powerful feminine asteroid, and she has such a strong presence in her chart. I've got one up there on my YouTube channel regarding her. And then I have another one with what happens when Ceres and Pluto kind of duke it out in the chart. And that can be pretty interesting, right? So check that one out, Pluto versus Ceres. All right, in the meantime, Gemini Rising, I wish you an absolutely wonderful April. Peace, blessings, and namaste.